I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I have two dogs in the background that are distracting the hell out of me, and I don't know how to do this without just making it sound like I'm talking to you, so we're gonna do the best that we can today. Hey guys, my name is Kaez, non-binary artist from hell. I am a webcomic artist that is doing webcomics full-time on Patreon. I've been doing a YouTube channel for a few years now, and I'm just recently getting back into the game. So if this is your first time here, hello, welcome, thank you for stopping by. If you'd like to hang out, I appreciate it. If not, that's totally cool. And if you've been here since the beginning, or you've been here for a little while, thanks for coming back. And yeah, let's just chat. Okay, like, this is gonna get weirdly personal, but I hope that you don't mind if I just ramble for a little while. Watch some of my webcomic process on the screen. Maybe you can work at the same time while I'm talking to you. Have me as background noise, whatever. Let's try it out. Let's see how it goes. So this is gonna sound weird, but I have this morning ritual. All right, my alarm goes off at 2:30 a.m. Yes, that's my dog in the background. Sorry. 2:30 a.m. I immediately get up, I go switch off my phone because I have a second alarm set for 2:31 a.m. because I don't want to wake up anyone else in my house, and that wakes me up. So alarm goes off at 2:30. I gotta hurry up and turn it off so that I don't wake anybody else up when the second alarm goes off. I get up, brush my teeth, drink some water, take some vitamins, wash my face, walk the dogs, you know, the whole shebang. It's surreal. It's still nighttime outside. There's no one on the roads. My family won't be waking up for a few more hours. It's interesting. Around this point in the morning, honestly, my eyes are still sore from exhaustion. I'm laughing at my dog. I'm so sorry. It's exhausting. If I'm not careful, I could easily doze off again at my workstation, like literally lay on the desk. I sit there and I think about the days in high school where I would just fall asleep at my desk, or honestly the 8 a.m. classes that I kept sleeping through in college, just turning my alarm off or actually showing up and then sleeping at my computer. My professors didn't give a shit. If I failed, I failed. So needless to say, I know tired very well. There's nothing more that I'd like to do at 2:30 in the morning than crawl back into my warm bed and just go back to sleep till 5. Personally, wish I could. But the thing is that this is my time, this early in the morning. And I know it sounds crazy, but this is the time where I'm not packing anyone's lunch. I'm not rushing to get a stubborn 6-year-old dressed and out the door for school. I'm not rushing back and forth through morning traffic. I don't pull into my driveway at 8 o'clock in the morning and start tending to my dogs, feeding them, walking them, etc., throwing a load of laundry in the wash, taking the dishes out of the dishwasher, only to finally sit down and get started on my workday at the late morning hours of 9 a.m. Me personally, that's half the day wasted. That's too much. When I tell family members my workday starts at 3, they all have the same look on their face, which is why? Why? I don't know. Because it works. Because at 3 o'clock in the morning, when I have my candles lit, I have my warm morning drink, matcha, coffee, or whatever, in my hand, and I've got my favorite playlist turned on. I'm ready to go. There's nothing in the world that could get in between me and the art that I'm fixing to do for that day. I could have a third of my day's work done before my kid is even waking up for school. Do you know how gratifying that feels? That's such a good start to the day. If I wait till 9 a.m. to start my day, it's already over. It's done. I've accomplished nothing at that point in the day. And I know that sounds crazy because for most people, that's probably when they're starting their day. They've got the rest of the day ahead of them. For me, that's half the day wasted. But I know that doesn't make sense. That's just how it feels. Before I had a kid, I did my best work between midnight and 7 a.m. I don't know. Maybe I was nocturnal in a past life. But needless to say, I love my early morning routines. I love the peace and the stillness before the world is awake. There was a time in my life where I couldn't even use my coffee maker before 9 o'clock because I had a tiny baby I didn't want to wake up in an even tinier apartment. So I love that I have the time during the day that I can get up and make my coffee without waking anybody up. I have a period in the middle of the day where I can work on my comics while my kid is at school. There used to be a time where I would have to try to work while chasing this kid around in diapers all day long and walking the dogs and feeding times. And honestly, even this time last year was when I got my new puppy, and he did not give a damn about my routines. So I had to learn how to work around his potty breaks, his play times. But now I think we've got our own system together. It's pretty nice. So I'm grateful for the ability to adapt, even if it sometimes feels like every hurdle is impossible to overcome, especially when you're a creative working from home. Everybody expects you to have a really flexible schedule, which is true. You make your own schedules if this is something you do full time. But if you have untreated ADHD like I do, you can't be flexible. You have to be strict or nothing gets done. But the 3 a.m. morning, those work mornings at 3 o'clock, they do cost me. I miss staying up an extra hour or two after my kid goes to bed. Maybe I want to read, maybe I want to play a video game, watch a new episode. I have not touched my Switch in like 7 months, probably more than that. I have not played Star Wars: The Old Republic like I got it last year to play with friends, and I haven't played it since last spring, I feel. If I do go out for dinner, or if I want to go out for a movie, it's very rare that I will give up my early mornings. I typically just settle on having less sleeps at night in order to not sacrifice my early morning routines. Whew, they're sacred to me. And yes, I know sometimes maintaining them at the expense of my own sleep is a very unhealthy habit, one that I would not ever encourage. I'm just being transparent with you guys. All of that, I would still say that making webcomics is the easiest job I've ever had. I wake up and I do something I love for 8 to 14 hours a day, depending on the workload. I used to do tech support. I used to be a housekeeper. I worked in a nursing home. I used to do retail. I was in the service industry for a while. I was a server, fast food, you name it. I used to do hard labor, but that was before it was legal for me to work, so this is the easiest job I've ever had, but it is also very time consuming. And I don't think people get into long format projects like webcomic making because they expect the payoff to outweigh the process. That's my personal opinion. You are free to tell me that I'm wrong. Most of the people that I know that make webcomics do it because it's something they've always loved doing. I will say though, it is satisfying whenever we do get to create something that a lot of people enjoy and engage with. Just speaking from personal experience, but it's not the primary reason people like me start these stories. Not to segue into a different section here, but I love stories. I love webcomics. I love books. I love TV series and movies and podcasts. I love getting to escape through fantasy and fiction. And I love seeing other people's perspectives and narratives through the lenses of their own storytelling. I am honestly incredibly grateful that I have the privilege to make these comics, even if I still have a lot to learn in my story writing department. We won't go there today. I see so many creators who just have much better art than my own, who write much better stories and webcomics than my own, and not to compare, but let's be realistic here. I'm not that full of myself. And I could let that discourage me. I think at a different time in my life I almost did. I remember I felt envy. I wanted so badly to be a better artist. I wanted to be a better writer. I do still believe I have a long way to go. It's also occurred to me just now that my hands are closer to the mic than my mouth is, and so you hear me talking with those instead of my mouth. I'm sorry. Back to the point. But when I look at artists like this now, I can't help but feel so inspired. I mean, isn't everything that I've created up to this point in my life just an amalgam of all the stories and art styles and things that I've personally enjoyed in fiction over the years? My personal tastes have molded my art and my preferences for storytelling throughout my life. Why wouldn't it also make sense to be inspired by the artists and storytellers that I admire so much? And on the other side of the coin, existing on the internet as a creative can be daunting. As with any online group, the artist community is capable of cruelness that would cause any new and aspiring artist to want to hide their work from the world. I honestly think that if I didn't start posting art until the 2020s, I wouldn't have done it for long. I was not a good artist in the beginning, and I felt like I was great. I felt entitled to be able to share my art with the world without having to worry about much backlash, and back then I was so small that was true. Nobody cared what I was doing. Nobody cared that my art was as bad as it was. I worry that now it might get a little more negative attention if it was worse. But I understand why creatives now are more cautious with posting their art online. One of my oldest friends and one of the best artists I know doesn't even want to post their art on social media anymore due to all the negativity, the art theft, the weirdness about it, the overall weirdness that can happen on any platform, let's be honest. In this light, again, I am continuously grateful that the majority of my audience is so relaxed and welcoming. I can't thank you guys enough. Even if half of what I make now is adult webcomics on Patreon, but you know, that's for people who are paying, don't worry about it. We're just on YouTube right now. But I don't know. I know I'm saying a lot without actually saying anything. There is a point here if you've made it this far, so bear with me. And it's this. Please keep being creative. Continue making your art, writing your stories, developing your characters, your crafts, your cosplays. It is reasonable to be cautious about posting your work to social media, but if you sincerely want to share your work with the world, please do not let your fears stop you. Even if you feel like someone else has already executed your idea before you, this has happened to me so many times before, there are people out there who are craving that idea from your perspective, and that's what makes it so valuable, is that it's from you, and you have a unique twist on it. It's different because it comes from a different mind. Even if you feel like your characters are a little bit too similar to other more popular concepts, again, something I personally have struggled with, you still have a unique and invaluable take on those character types, and someone, somewhere out there, is waiting to find your work. Speaking from experience, some of my most beloved work are character concepts that I was afraid this has been done a million times before. This has been done so many times before, nobody is going to care, but so many people liked what I did with it. Was my version of it incredibly unique and one of a kind? No. But people enjoyed my perspective. People enjoyed my art style in this thing. People enjoyed the character designs. And because it resonated with so many people, it became my full-time job. And I'm grateful that I took that risk, that I was able to jump into doing that full-time. So don't give up just because you're worried about somebody else doing it before you. In my personal opinion, art is such a connecting force between us. Art is such a human phenomenon. I don't maintain a 3 a.m. comic making routine simply because I have deadlines. If it was solely about the work and about making money, I would get an office job. I would spend that time making more YouTube videos or selling things on TikTok Shop. There's nothing wrong with doing those things, but they're not what I want to do. I want to make art. I want to make comics. I do it because those early hours in the morning when no one else is awake and no one in the world gives a damn about what a tired parent in Texas is doing, I feel the most human because I get to draw. This is, while arguably not a skill set reflecting such truths, an accumulation of doing something I have loved for 23 years of my life. I've been bad at art. I've been good at art. I've won things, I've lost things. It's gotten me opportunities, and it hasn't. I've lost sleep over it. I've developed new muscles working on it. I've had arguments over it. I've made lifelong friendships with it. I'm not a great artist, and I don't imagine I will ever be an artist that influences people worldwide. But if you are watching this today and listening to my voice, please take this. If you love it, keep doing it for you. Because anything done with love is worth cherishing, no matter what anybody else says. So good luck. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to do my outro, and I will catch you guys in the next video. If you like what I do and you want to help support me in my continuing pursuit of making webcomics full-time, go check out my Patreon. You have to be 18 or older though, because a lot of that is adult comics. Yes, it's not safe for work. If you don't feel like doing that, you can read my webcomics for free on Webtoon Canvas. Just look up Cut as Hell and it's got my library there. If you want to follow my day-to-day, you can follow me on TikTok until I no longer have access to it in the US. TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Blue Sky, all under Cut as Hell. And until next time, feel free to comment below why you love doing what you do, what kind of art you make, what kind of projects are you working on? Are you also a webcomic artist? Do you write fanfic? Do you do cosplay? Do you do stuff with your hands? I love to hear what kind of things people are making. I think that it's so inspiring and it's so cool to see what other people are capable of, because like, I know how to draw, that's it. I don't know how to knit, I don't know how to do anything else, and I want to see what other people are working on all the time. Let me know what it is that you love to do, how long you've been working on it, and maybe you have a project that you've been dreaming of working on, but you haven't started on it yet for one reason or another. Feel free to talk about that in the comments too. Maybe we can, I don't know, brainstorm, see what we can do to get you started on that, get that off the ground for you. But I'm gonna go before I talk myself into a stupor. I'll see you guys later. Bye.